These car chronicles in this truck, man. I meant to be, I wanted to be wherever I was going to be by now, but I'm not. I am in the truck and I'm having to do my drive. Um, I want to stop by Tractor Supply so bad because I feel like they have some sales going on. My spirit is just telling me that there are some sales going on at Tractor Supply, and I want to stop by there so bad. But I wanted to come in and talk to you all. Let me know that I know the camera is jiggling all over the place and I really can't do anything about it at this point, but just do let me know that you can at least see the video is fine, and also let me know that you can hear because I have on these earphones instead of my microphone today. So let me know that you can hear me. Hello everybody. Hi. Hello, hi, my Renaissance grandma. How are you doing? Good to see you. Good afternoon, Cheryl Faulkner. How are you doing? Hi, Samuel. How are you doing? Good to see you. Thank you so much for coming in. Hi, Kathy B. How are you doing today? Hi, Miss Maria Graham. How are you? Good to see you. Hi, Ina Stanley. How are you today? Good to see you. Hi, Timor. Good afternoon. How are you? Hi, GT Jr. How are you? Good to see everyone in the chat today. Um, I don't know what the internet is going to do, so I probably won't. I might not be long. I don't plan on it anyway. I'll just put it like that. Um, but I just wanted to come in and say hello to you. It is. I know it's a little bit after 5 o'clock. I was having some internet issues and really couldn't get my signal strong until I actually started to move. But I wanted to give you some things to think on today because, hi, good to see you too. Thank you. Thank you. I want to give you all some things to think on today because I was listening to a young man, listening to his video today, and he was talking about, and one of the things that he said during the course of the video, y'all know I love preparing and that type of thing, so I definitely listen to those type of videos. And he was talking about basically our situation here, being citizens of the U.S. And he is always trying to educate people on the different types of mindsets that they need to have in order to survive in the new world. I understand that some people don't yet get it, that we're not living in the same world anymore. We can't even tell when we're supposed to be planting things. Like, it's still cool here today. It got a little bit, the temperature raised a little bit, but for the most part, it would normally be like burning up. But the year 2020 changed all of that. It changed how we plant. It changed when we plant. It changed when we start seeds. It changed everything for us as gardeners. And typically at this time of the year, before 2020, Easter Sunday was going to be like our last bit of cold that we were going to have. We would always have to put the children on their socks and tights and little jackets and all of that stuff on Easter Sunday. And then after that, we were going to get some heat. And like it was going to jump from winter to summer. And that's sort of the way that in my recent history, for as long as I can remember, that's kind of the way it went. But now, everything is different. Everything is different. And I heard this young man say, never educate the people that you want to dominate. And it struck me. You know, when I listen to things, I typically try to make sure that I get something from it, that I'm going to get something out of the message, whatever the message is that a content creator is talking about. I'm going to try to get something out of it. But when I heard that, when I heard him say, never educate the people that you want to dominate, that resonated with me so severely. It resonated so hard. It resonated so much with me. And hi, Urban Gardening Chronicles. You know who I'm talking about? Yeah. I don't be wanting to, like, you know, I don't know him like that, so I don't want to like be. I don't want to be like that. But anyway, when he said that, it just struck me, and I was like, dang. You know, he said a whole mouthful. He said a whole mouthful, and it really took me back. It took me back so far, and I was like, I have known that all of my life. Him to say it today and to hear it come from a young person, I was like, wow. He is telling the whole truth. He's telling the whole truth. And a lot of us are still not getting it. A lot of us still not understanding it. And then it started bringing questions. Just start bringing questions to me. And I was like, have you ever thought, why are people so afraid of diversity? And I know that there are several reasons. Put some reasons in the chat why you think that people are so afraid of diversity. I'm going to tell you one of the reasons that I thought. Hey, Green Grass Grows, how are you doing? Hi, Lala. How you doing, Texas Lala? Hurt your little feelings? Yeah. It was like a slap. It was like a real slap. So why do y'all think people are so afraid of diversity? And I got some reasons of my own, but one of them just kept coming to me. And one of my reasons is that they're going to lose the help. They're going to lose the help. I can remember my mom working as the help. She was a maid for a family. Lala said they're afraid of being surpassed and replaced. Sheriff Faulkner says, because we can teach them something. All of that. But I remember when my mom was working for a family. Hi, Love Notes. How are you doing? Sorry, my phone was ringing. Sorry if that took me out. I'm going to keep talking, but just let me know that y'all can still hear me. It's written, the first shall be last and the last shall be first. Times are changing. Times are absolutely changing. And they're going to change in ways that we really, truly are not ready for. We're really not ready for. But back to, my mom was working for this one family. And she worked for the family for a long time, did a lot of taking care of their children, just did a lot for the family, cleaning their big homes. She was with them long enough to see them go into two, I guess about two different homes, and she was still there. And I remember one day her being so hurt and so upset and saying that the homeowner, the husband, tried to set her up, tried to make it seem like he sat, I think she said it was like 10 grand. Back then, 10 grand was a lot of money, okay? This was when I was a child, so 10 grand was a lot of money back then. So she sat 10 grand he sat 10 grand out on the bed or dresser or somewhere. And because he knew that she was coming to clean that day. And so she saw it. You say it's still a lot. But so she saw the 10 grand and she went on and cleaned and did what she had to do. And then she took the 10 grand and she put it inside the drawer. And when he came home expecting her to have stolen the money for some reason, she had been working for them for years by this point, okay? And so he was looking for the money, and the wife called my mother and was asking about the money. No, she said she told the wife. She didn't have to call her because she told the wife that she took the money and she had put it inside the drawer. And he called my mother. And it was just a, accusatory type of thing. That's what it was designed for. That was what it was designed for in the first place. And so she said that she had put the money, told them exactly where she had put the money. Okay? And obviously the wife went into the drawer, found the money, gave him a good cussing out, but she was so hurt. And you just have to ask yourself, why would you do something like that? Why would you make it a point to try to entrap someone who you supposedly care about? If this person is so great the way that you say they're so great, why would you do something to try to entrap them? Or why would you do something to make that person not want to be a part of your family anymore? The help was still there. The help was still there. And guess what? A lot of when I was working as a legal assistant, I would watch new attorneys coming out of school and overhear the conversations, or sometimes even talking to me and talking about their maid. And a lot of them working in the same place, they would reference out their maid. So the help is still here for now. But what's going to happen as society continues to change? Is the help still going to be there? It might still be there, but it might be there in a different form. And then what? And then what are you going to do? And then how are you going to treat people? Or would it just be easier for the robot to do it? Or would you kick the robot? Would you have anybody to blame something on? Would the robot respect your money? We have to get to a point where we're starting to here's the thing. With so many people going to school, going to college, do you all not understand that this is an issue for generations of people? This is an issue for generations of people. Thankfully, I know how to wash dishes. Thankfully, my children know how to wash dishes. Thankfully, we know how to change tires. Thankfully, we know how to put in some plumbing now. Thankfully, we know how to put up some walls and put in some insulation and do all types of things. We have to get to a point where we understand that the help is not going to always be there. And so for those people who use the help and utilize the help, this has nothing to do with color, any of that nonsense or bullshit. This is about the haves and the have-nots. One of my sociology professors would say, y'all gonna understand one day that this is about the Mac daddies and the Mac mamas against everybody else. Y'all gonna understand that one day, that this is about the haves and the have-nots. Y'all see what's happening to the middle class? You see how the middle class is dwindling? You see how the middle class is going to probably technically be no more as a whole. It's probably going to be no more. And so if you are at the point where you're still at a certain level where you can afford to pay people to come and wash your dirty clothes, you can afford to pay people to cook your meals and to clean your house, you might want to try to do a little something for yourself. You might want to try to learn how to do some things for yourself. Because I'm telling you, the more people are educated, the less of that type of thing you're going to have. I love using the example of, look at the Hispanic community now. Look at the Hispanic community right now. My husband had a good friend when we were living in our hometown, and he was Mexican. And his friend, went from place to place. They lived together as a family. They worked together as a community. They did everything together. They shared costs. They shared cars. They shared everything together. And I can distinctly remember, people being like laughing. But who's laughing now? Who's laughing now? I see so many Mexican restaurants right now, and we love them. Love to go to them. I see so many. I mean, in the country, I see tons of Mexican food trucks around Tallahassee. And guess what they're still doing? Working together. They're still working together. They're still supporting each other. You think they don't have issues? You think they don't have fights? You think they don't have disagreements? I can guarantee you that they do. But baby, they have moved up in the world. Hey, Courtney Taylor. They have moved up in the world. Guess who's having the last laugh now? Because they knew and did something that we won't. Moved up. Yes, moved on up in the world because they worked together. They did whatever needed to be done. Guess what? If 10 people had to be in that Geo Metro, then 10 was in that thing on Geo Metro. But they got where they needed to go. Now they riding around in $80,000 trucks. My partner just decided to up and abandon us and the household. Fortunately, I got used to doing the things that folks might normally expect the man to do around the house. Listen, there is a war against our families. The family structure, period. There is a war against the family structure as a whole, across the board. Not the white family, not the black family, not the Mexican family, not the Indian family. Dang. I hope they don't they don't get me for that. But ain't nothing I can do. I'm stuck in traffic, you know. But there is a war against the family in general. And we have to be smart enough to say, okay, let us now, because we falling for it. Yeah, I love notes. Always have been attacks on the family as a unit since the beginning of time. But guess what? Now we falling for it. I'm sorry if it seems like I'm yelling. Some of it is just normally me, but I'll be glad when I get away from this vehicle. But we are falling for it now. All we have is fights now. The man ain't good enough no more. The woman ain't good enough no more. The children ain't good enough no more. Nobody is good enough for each other anymore. Everybody wants something that they don't have, and they're not willing to put in the work in order to get. Yes. There's been attacks the entire time, but now everybody is working against each other instead of working together now. It creeps in anywhere. I don't care how long you've been in a relationship. I don't care how long you've been married. All of this stuff creeps into relationships. It creeps into this structure. It creeps into the family unit, and we are not seeing what's happening. We aren't seeing what's happening. It's up to us to make sure that we're going to work together. It's up to us to learn all the skills that we need to learn. I was in African Dreaming today, and I heard all of the stuff that they were talking about, relationships, and really great chat. Fantastic chat. And I also heard one of the other things that kind of sparked me was Led Farmer and Lady Led the other day. They were talking about buying land. And they got to talking about some gentleman who was off grid, and he was in a place, and he cut off a piece of his finger and had to go ahead and cut the rest of it off, okay? Because he had no help. But luckily, guess what he did have? Hey, Bell's Backyard Garden, how you doing, sis? But guess what he did have? Even though he didn't have a hospital by, guess what he had? He had skills. He had to do some things that he probably never in life thought that he would do. But he was prepared. And he had some skills. And he did whatever he needed to do to keep himself from bleeding out. We have to learn, we have to work together, we have to utilize my sisters. I got so many people who are nurses, who work in the medical field, or who have formerly worked in the medical field. And we have to utilize those people. We have to get our skills up in every area of life. Believe it or not, something as simple as cleanliness or a lack thereof can take you up out of here. It can take you out of here. Hi, Rambo Green Hands. A lack of cleanliness can kill you. Hi Kim, how are you doing? I can't read your whole name, but hi, how are you doing? Hi Robert, how are you doing? You learn. Dirtiness, nastiness can take you out of here. So think that it's not important to build up your skill, to learn how to clean your own stuff, to learn how to clean wounds. If you're not about to cut off a finger, do you have alcohol on hand? Do you have the topical alcohol and the internal alcohol on hand? Because you're going to need some of the internal alcohol just as much as the topical alcohol. One can be used for both, right? If you need to cut off a finger, you don't have a hospital close by. What type of skill set are you practicing on? What are you learning? We got to make sure that we're getting it together. Everybody is going now for psychology and sociology and to be a therapist. And those are necessary. But guess what we're also going to have to do? We're not going to be able to comfortably sit on somebody's job. Because when the jobs stop, have y'all considered if we go into worse than what 2007, 2008 was? Has anybody considered if we go into a worse recession than that? That means that there's going to be a whole heck of a lot of people who aren't going to be able to sit behind computers. What are you going to do? Okay, big truck. Jesus. Need you to stay on your side. Sheesh. Healy Means, how you doing? What else are you learning? What else are you learning besides, like me, how society works, race relations? What else are we learning other than that? Hi, Rambo Green Hands. Gigi, are we going? Are we going that way? You don't see it. You don't see it, Rambo Green Hands. There's no way in the world that I would be out in the yard and not be growing something to eat right now. There's no way. There's no way in the world that I would not be growing something to eat like that. I don't care if you do it indoors. I don't care if you do it outdoors. I just got me some the fake arrow gardens. But there's no way in the world right now that I would not be growing something. You don't have to be growing a whole acre worth of food. Listen, we worked some magic off of our third of an acre property. We worked some magic growing that food on a third of an acre. I know by the time we left that property, we had at least 40 fruit trees. Or different types of fruit if it wasn't 40 fruit trees. On that small piece of property. On our balcony, we were still growing food. On any back porch we ever had, we were still growing food. Didn't matter how small the space was. Make sure we growing something. Because at some point, all of our degrees are not going to help us. It's not going to help us at some point. At some point, we got to understand that if we get to a situation that's worse, I was watching Slow Living Jane. If you all are not subscribed to Slow Living Jane, she is a Dutch citizen. And I'm watching her talk about the same stuff that we going through in a totally different country. Talking about the same stuff that we going through. This is not just isolated. The stuff that we're having happen is not just isolated to the United States. Yeah, the United States is having some struggles right now. She hurting right now. But this stuff is not isolated to the United States. We have so many countries all over the world who have bought into the matrix. And so we have so many people who don't want to be uncomfortable. We have so many people who are afraid, and etc. and etc. and etc. Whatever the reasons are, we have so many people who still are not growing. I saw somebody say they harvested something. I'm sorry, can't look at it. I'm gonna have to. I think I'm gonna have to pull over. But there are so many people who are afraid of bugs and letting that stop them. Guess what? There's some stuff out there that, shakes me a little bit too. And then there's some stuff out there that shakes me a whole heck of a lot. But I get out there and make sure that if my family needs to come from across the country, we got a spot. Pull up on us. We got a spot. You gonna help, but we gonna feed you. Matter of fact, you gonna help, so you gonna feed yourself. My mother, who is 82 years old, taught me how to grow food at an early age and instill being self-sustainable at a young age. They had to, in their generation in Alabama, now we need to. I was afraid of bugs. I've mostly gotten over it. Yeah, I mean, we bigger than them. I know they got a distinct advantage, because they got wings, and some of them got 4 legs and 8 legs, and yeah, it's a little creepy because we used to stuff looking like us. So yeah, it's a little creepy out there. But I tell you what, nothing should stop you from wanting to make sure that you feed your family. Nothing should scare you so much that it stops you from growing food. What should scare you is the fact that we're about to go into a cashless system. You're about to be forced to show your government every single transaction. That's what should be really scary. You understand? I saw another video today where they had the children in the classrooms. Hey, pescatarian gardener, how you doing? You have your herbs going inside. Boom, go ahead, Kathy B. Me too. I saw a video, Chinese kids, today. Yes, they on the road, baby. They on the road. I'm just glancing. I saw a video of this school in China where they have the children being watched and being monitored, where they have a robot that's at the front of the classroom. I don't know if y'all saw this, but they got a robot at the front of the classroom. The robot can look at the children, tell if they're ill, if they are sick. The robot can look at the children and tell if they are engaged with the teacher, or if every time they look down at their phone, the robot snitches and tells the teacher. When I tell you, this is where we are going. Everything that they do, because we're fighting to keep up. That's what we do too. You saw that? We do the same thing. We do the same thing. We do the same thing. And so if we don't remember some of those old ways, if we don't do some of those physical things anymore, then guess what? All of the robots are going to be controlling the rest of us around the entire world. They're going to be telling you when your body is saying it's hot. When that normally, back in the days, that was some private stuff. People weren't talking about that type of stuff. All of the things that we are going through right now are only going to get a little bit more stiff, tricky. They're going to get a little bit more complicated. And if we don't know how to do the old things, the one thing that I really could go the rest of my life without hearing is that I got a black thumb. I kill everything. I don't want to hear that no more. If I never heard that again in my entire life, I'd be okay. Because guess what happens in nature? When a bird drops a seed or a squirrel drops a seed or the deer drops seeds, guess what happens? They don't plant it. They don't get their spade from the $1.25 tree and go out there and dig a hole. They don't do any of that. All they do is chew the fruit, spit it out. Nature does the rest. So that extra tree, that extra pine tree that was growing in your pot, guess what? Didn't nobody have to do anything extra. Nature will take care of itself. So when people say, I can't grow anything, I have a black thumb, I kill everything, you right. That's all you're going to ever do. You're going to kill it. But I say to you, the birds don't have hands. They don't even try. Oh, I'm sorry. I must be going out. Am I back? The birds don't have hands. They don't worry about any of that stuff that we worry about. The birds don't concern themselves. Back at the top of the hill. Yeah, Lisa. If he takes care of the birds and the creeping things, what will he do for us? We back. I know I was probably talking to myself. We back, y'all. We good? Okay. All right. Just making sure. But, and I like my mind has just been all over the place. And I was thinking, have you ever considered the type of people who just give you information? Have you ever considered the type of people who just want you to know stuff? They want you to know how to do stuff. Have you ever thought about those type of people? And what it must be like for them. What it must be like for people who want you to be better, who want you to do better, who want you to grow. Have you ever considered being the type of people who, those are giving type of people, right? Have you ever thought about what it must be like for people who give and they give and they give of themselves? And the type of anguish that those people must go through when they try to give and give and give and give information and give help and all of those type of things, and then people are just like, no thank you. They just don't want it, and they don't say it, you know, they don't necessarily say no thank you, but their actions say no thank you. I don't want it. I don't want the help that you're trying to give me. I don't want it. At some point, family, these degrees only gonna take us so far. We're going to have to remember the old ways. We're going to have to remember the people who have been trying to teach us. And the people who have been trying, who taught you how to sew? Even just sew a button on. Who taught you how to cook your first egg? Have you said thank you? It's not too late if they're still here. Have you said thank you to those people who taught you, your grandma? Hey, African Dreamer, how you doing? Outstanding live today. Outstanding. I still got to go back and catch up because I was busy. But grandma taught me all of that stuff. If you have an opportunity to say thank you, go and say thank you. Call them and say thank you if you have an opportunity. If they just with you in spirit, guess what? Talk to them anyway. I still talk. I had a friend that passed away a couple of years ago from COVID. And I still have conversations with her because she used to be at my house every day. My husband used to be like, boy, y'all too. She used to be late for work every day because she would come to my house. And I would be like, girl, you know you got to go to work. And she would be like, sis, I know I need to go to work, but I needed to come and get some of what you got to give me. Meaning she needed this conversation. She needed to be fed. So she was willing to be late for work. She needed information, but she taught me as much as I taught her. That was my earring lady. She worked with her hands. We were in the mask era real hard back then. She made masks for me and hundreds of other people around Tallahassee. And we fed each other. Hi, Sassy. How you doing? Hi, Grace Guys. How are you? And we fed each other. We fed each other physically. We fed each other mentally. We fed each other emotionally. We fed each other psychologically. We truly fed each other. If you locked out, guess what? Come on. If we need to sit in the car, come on. You need me to go pick up your baby from school? I got her. Don't worry about it. We got to get back to what we used to do. Being able to be there for each other. Being able to love and support each other. Yes, we're going to have some issues sometimes. Yes, we're going to get mad at each other sometimes. All of that. How you doing, Homestead Rachel? All of that. We got to get back to the basics of how to survive. There are so many things that we know that we just hoard. We keep that stuff to ourselves. We keep it to ourselves. Leaders, one thing that I have learned in life, and I've listened to a whole lot of people and been inspired from so many different places, so many different walks of life. And the one thing that always sticks with me and it continuously gives me the energy to keep on doing this type of stuff, to keep on feeding my friends and my family, is the fact that leaders always want to create other leaders. We don't want to leave anybody behind for real. We don't want to do that, even though everybody can't go with you, because they ain't ready. They're not ready. And you can't be stopped. You can't allow people to stop you. You have to keep on moving. They have to catch the next group that's coming up behind you. Everybody can't go with you. But when you have knowledge, when you have a skill set, pour into those other people who you want to also be leaders. Everybody ain't gonna do it anyway, right? Everybody ain't gonna be a leader anyway. So what are we so afraid of? Why are we so afraid of sharing information? Why are we so afraid of banding together with other people on a common goal? Why are we so afraid? We're afraid of somebody getting the upper hand. We're afraid of, just like these drivers out here, we're afraid of seeing somebody jump to the other lane and then jump in front of us. So when we see somebody else coming, we slam on that gas, right? Be like, you ain't about to pass me. Instead of working closely together to make sure that we win together, I'm going to slam on the gas. I'm going to slam on the gas because I can't let you pass me. Do you know how many of my students over the years have passed me? And guess what I do? I don't hate. I cheer them on. I expect my children are 10 times past where I was at their age. And guess what? I love it. I absolutely love it. I absolutely love it. Hi, Gigi. When my children were small, I had a saying, if I fall, I have 3 sets of feet that will fall behind me. Yeah. Yeah. Because you connected. If they weren't holding on to your dress, because some will get more than us, and that's a problem. Listen, if I'm teaching you something, I want you to go and be able to teach it to somebody else. But I realize everybody ain't like me. I get it. Celebrate people and their accomplishments without feeling hatred. Girl, thank you. I was listening, Sassy. I was listening to some young girls on a podcast. They had to be in like their 20s. Just their conversation, like, it's different from your 40s, right? So just the conversations had me believing that these young ladies were definitely in their 20s. They were probably, around my children's age, just because of the conversation that they were having. But I like to learn, and so I listen. I listen to a variety of people, different ages, different walks of life. You can learn something from anybody. And so I was listening to them, Sassy, and they were talking about their friendship over the years, you know, and they were talking about the way that they don't necessarily always grow at the same rate. I'm paraphrasing. They don't grow at the same rate all the time. But when one see the other is growing and they're not in their own winning season, they get over themselves and help to push that one that's going to the roof. Why we don't think like that? The young people even get it. The young people even understand the concept that community is what's going to take you farther. Yeah, you can go fast alone, but you can go far if you are with your community. You got people that are assisting you with all types of things. One of the things that that would happen to me everywhere we went, Eco Neighbor will tell y'all, people always wanted to put their kids off on me because they realized that there was something in me, because I loved being a mom. Absolutely was the best, you know, being a mom, having my little kids, raising my own children, not having them here and there and all over the place, being able to instill lessons of life into my own daughters. Like, that was the absolute best thing for me. And I really thank my husband for all the sacrifice that he made in order to make that happen for me as a mom, and also to benefit our girls. But I'm telling you, community, I was just about to say, Sassy, and thank you. I was about to say community is everything, and then you put the positive in front of it. Absolutely. Absolutely. Positive community is everything. Yeah. Everybody ain't going to be able to go with you, but those people who are positive, those people who are also willing to share and give you information, those people who are willing to go into the trenches with you, those people who, you know, if you were to check up out of here tomorrow, you got their kids. They know that their friends are going to make sure that their child is okay, or their children are okay, even if they check up out of here. It's about community. It's about making sure that you are teaching each other the skills that are necessary in order for us to all live a little bit better. They were talking about the cemetery being one of the places that have so many unwritten books because of people who have taken all of this information, all of this knowledge, all of this wonderful information that we need. They've taken it with them to the grave. That's not going to help us. That's not going to help anybody. That's not going to benefit us as a community if we're just hoarding all of the information ourselves. I tell the G Tribe members, and somebody said to me one day, well, I don't want to, you learn Robert. I absolutely love listening. That's one of the people that my husband and I listen to on a regular, Dr. Miles Monroe. Leave everything here. Leave it all here. Yes, each one teach one. Leave it here. Whatever you know, leave it here. Put it in a book. I wish, oh, T. Moore, I started reading your book and I'm almost done. Life lessons, T. Moore. Well done. Well done, sister. Well done. I guess I left that book in the RV. But life lessons on things that we need to be leaving, teaching our children, instilling in our children, so that guess what? When we teach something, this is one of the things that I see my children doing. When I teach them something, they're always telling their friends about it. They having conversations. The conversations that Lil Gigi has with her friends is crazy. The level of maturity of our youngest child is off the charts. Hi, Auntie Bev Jones. How are you doing? It's just off the charts. Because guess what? I'm not the type of mother. I'm not the type of person who is just like, I don't want my kids to do better than me. I want them to make what I did look like trash. That's what I want. I want them out. I was making $5.40 an hour working full time when I was fresh out of high school because I needed that full time job so I could pay that $80 a month rent. I needed every penny. And right now, these is truths. African dream. Thank you, fam. Thank you, fam. I appreciate that. But I'm telling you, I want them kids I want the sky to be the limit for them. No limits. No limits. I'm telling you, when you pour into each other and when you pour into your family, you pour into your extended family, your friends, your YouTube family, when you pour into each other. Hey, Hudson, how you doing? You are building communities. We don't even realize how when we are pouring into each other, it rolls over into our personal lives with our families. Because guess what? When I hear something or when Eco Neighbor hears something, he's going to be like, toot, 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 toot. Send. And I'll be like, I never thought about that. Yes, Lisa. Yes, Les Brown is another one. Inspirational, outstanding. Outstanding. The life lessons that you are going to learn from these people, from these motivational speakers. If you are the type of person where you're not listening to something motivational at least once per day, try doing that. Try listening to at least one, I don't care if it's a 3-minute long speech. Sorry about that. I'm going to have to end this because my battery is dying. But, oh, yes, Homesteader Rachel, pour until their cup runneth over. Hi, Shakira. You can benefit so many people if just a change of mindset happens. A change of mindset happens when you're listening to inspirational things, when you're listening to things that help you to grow mentally. That's when you're going to live your best life. You're going to do so much better. You're going to, yeah, and guess what? You're going to lose some people now. I ain't going to lie to you. You're going to lose some people because everybody ain't ready and everybody can't go. Everybody can't go with you. But to the ones who want to go, the ones who ready to take that additional step and step a little bit higher, step on that next step up, be ready to feed those people mentally, spiritually, physically, psychologically, whatever you have to do. Be ready to feed those people who are ready to go. When I go and get out in the car, when it's time for me to leave and go somewhere, I'll send my family a message and be like, hey, I'm pulling out at such and such time. And my family know I better be out there because she'll pull off. When it's time to go, it's time to go. It's time to move. I don't have time to be waiting on you. And then guess what? Because if I'm waiting on you and you're not ready when it's time to go, you're gonna mess up everything I got going on. Thank you, Miss Maria. A much needed word to get today to advance together and thrive. Thank you. Thank you. I really appreciate that. Since your phone died, I hope you'll be able to record those deals at Tractor Supply. I done already passed it, GT Junior. I didn't stop because I was in the middle of the conversation. I didn't stop. But think about, what are you going to do when we're going to have to fight in order to keep our position against these robots, right? We're going to have to fight to keep our positions. We're going to have to fight. We're going to have to fight. So use all the skills that you got. Use that stuff and share that stuff. I love the fact that Auntie Ellen is doing her weekly lives, teaching people how to sew. And guess what? You don't have to be the fanciest at it or any of that stuff in order to make a quilt that is going to keep you warm. Let me tell you, full-time RV living over here, how important those quilts are. To throw the quilts on top of our bed that my mom made for us, made for me and Eco, made for little Gigi, made for all of my siblings, and the rest of the grandkids, made everybody a quilt. And right now, it is especially special. That can be the difference between you having a very, very, very uncomfortable night. All because of some skill that she learned when she was a child. That she decided that she wasn't going to keep to herself. She was going to also pass that off to us. And Auntie Ellen coming on weekly. Creating chat. Talking her big noise like she be talking. But also giving you life skills. Whew. That is something else. Let's say get right or get left. Simple. It's real simple, ain't it? Hey, Brenda King, how you doing? Move or lose, your choice. Yes, get out the way. Get out the way. Move it or lose it. I'm so grateful to have Auntie Ellen as a resource. You are so right about that. Absolutely. Absolutely. All of that stuff, all of those things. Hey, Gardening and Holistic Fun. How you doing? My mother made her children and her grandkids. I see your comment got cut off. I'll read it when you come back. But you got to learn something. Now, my mom, when we were growing up, she would be like, okay, by the time I come home, I need y'all to have this whole house clean. You better have your rooms clean. Your bed better be made up. The dishes better be washed. Child, listen. 5 minutes till it's time for mama to come, we be running, scrambling, trying to get stuff done. Scrambling. Trying to get it cleaned up. Boy, we used to be scrambling. Oh, let's not even talk about the times where we be done toast something up by the time she get. Now you about to go have to pick your switch off the China berry tree. Yeah, young people, we got our ass beat. But guess what? We're great adults. We're excellent adults. Yes, we had to pick our own switch. You better get a good one too. But I tell you, y'all, one thing that they did was that they made sure that they were going to teach us. They made sure that we were going to know how to survive. We were going to have skills. Yeah, better not be a little one. The old ways still work today. I went to the store looking for chewing tobacco so that I can make a tea for garden pests. And I saw somebody do that the other day. It was $12 a pack. Oh my gosh. We got to get some seeds and grow some tobacco, don't we? Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. $12 a pack. We got to grow some tobacco. How you doing, Sapphire Diamonds and Pearls? Miss Linda, how you doing? Yeah. Yes, Cheryl Faulkner. Yes, that part right there. Got it toe up. Apologize. My mother handmade quilts for her children and grandchildren. We still have them. Yes. Priceless. That is priceless. That is priceless. And we're going to need those skills. We're going to need those survival skills. We're going to need to make sure that our children are prepared. We were telling y'all the other day on Eco Neighbors Live about Lil Gigi, how Lil Gigi is out there living more off grid than we are. She out there washing clothes by hand. Like, she getting it. She really getting it. And she ain't complaining about nothing. You think she's the most comfortable? No, she ain't. She's, used to be a little spoiled. She used to be a little spoiled. But now, she is like, all right, these are the cards that we've been dealt. Let's go. Let's do it. Y'all, little Gigi got a job and everything, y'all. And then she still will come home and do whatever it is that she needs to do. Hi, Auntie Shirley. How you doing? My legs tore up with welts and no dresses. See that? Be trying to go and put your jeans on. Shoot. And Bougie is bringing it. Yes, she is. Yes, she is. I did the switch picking one time, and the next time I had to refuse the request. Honey, I was a runner, okay? I used to run like them little short legs. Baby, listen, running. Didn't think I could jump a bed, but I did it before. Let me get up out of here, y'all. I'm learning on the new homestead journey. You're going to lose folks, especially big city folk. I'm no longer hanging in the city of Houston, spending in the bars, eating out, going on dates. Lost folks, that's okay. You ain't making it rain no more, huh? I'm telling you. I heard Led say, go and look at your Amazon list. If you say you can't afford no land, go and add up your Amazon list. Add up all that stuff you bought and then see if you got enough for a down payment. I'm going to leave it right there. I'm going to let it be. All right. Y'all, take care of each other. Take care of yourself. Take care of your family. This comment. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. I got my jackery. I forgot I had my jackery. Hold on. Listen, this is why, people, you got to be prepared. Let me plug it in. Can y'all hear me? Can y'all hear me? I forgot I had my jackery over here. You can hear me. All right. Cool. My grandmother taught me how to cut out a pattern from a brown paper bag. And that's the way my mom would make our dresses. Because guess what? They couldn't afford. They couldn't afford Simplicity, or what's the one with the M called? McCall's. They couldn't afford any of that. I'm loud. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Eco Neighbor. I'm sorry. They couldn't afford the McCall patterns. They couldn't. They could not afford even the Simplicity patterns back then. Got it? Do you see how much a chicken is costing? And did y'all hear what they injected into the chickens? Because y'all refused, because we refused to be hole punched. They just gonna put it in the chicken and in the cows and in the pigs. They just gonna put it in there now. So guess what? You ain't gonna have no choice in the matter. This is what we dealing with. That's why my Amazon list. Oh, that's why we have an Amazon list trying to get them jackeries and solar. Listen, I found this one. I got this one. I don't know if I showed y'all on my community tab, but this is the 290, I think it's called. Okay. It goes up to 400 peak watt hours or whatever, however that works. Okay. I just know that I can only use this for certain things, but this is what I'm running my indoor water garden. I gotta stop calling them that. Hydroponics. My hydroponic water garden, because I like water garden. I'm running them off of these. So I found this one and I got like 30 bucks off because they were running a sale that particular day. Okay. So even if you living off grid, there are ways to do everything. You got to get creative. You got to start thinking outside of the box again. See, we are in a time where we don't want to think, and we want everything real fast. We want it super fast. We don't want to have to think too much. Oh, am I egging you, Eco Neighbor? Oh, did you say something, honey? I'm sorry. Hi, Sherry. Good evening, GGNG Tribe. So glad I made it to the live stream. I'll catch the replay for what I missed. All right, love. Okay. Thank you for being here. Appreciate you. Yes. So those things, if you can remember your grandma, or if you can remember somebody else's grandma who made you their grandkids, that's what people always did to me, because my grandmothers were... I had one grandmother that I remember, and the rest of my grandmothers were deceased, younger in age. And so everything that you can learn, everything that you can pick up, and young people, I don't have a whole lot of young people, but younger people, take the lessons, okay? Some stuff you're going to have to filter, but take the lessons from the older people. They can help you with some stuff. And guess what? Older people take some lessons from the younger people, because this is their world now. They can help you with some stuff. They can help you understand some stuff. So if we were to now work together, you see how this works? If we were to work together, McCall patterns. Wow. Memories of grandma unlocked. Yes. The McCall patterns. I remember when they started going up in price. And I remember my mom steering me towards a certain type of pattern, when she was teaching me how to cut out the patterns, that would like be one of the jobs that I would do. And I thought it was cool, you know. I thought it was cool at the time, because she was always sewing something. She was always a very, very hands-on, very domestic, loved to cook. We cook for mama now. She don't cook, you know, because mama getting older. So we cook, and the children cook for mama now. But, oof, I tell you, all of the things that I learned from that little 5-foot lady, I'm telling you, they are priceless. So even though I haven't had a sewing machine since over a year ago when we put our stuff in storage, I still know how to go to the storage and get that sewing machine and crank that bad boy up. I still know how to use it. There's some stuff that when you get this information, when you get this knowledge, when you get this skill, can't nobody take it away from you. You're going to know how to do so many things if you'll just depend on each other. If you'll just depend on the people who are older than you to teach you some things, and you also depend on the people who are younger than you to teach you some things. Y'all follow Auntie Bev Jones with some of the sewing and different things that she makes over there on her channel? It can be as simple as a hat. Do you know how valuable a hat is when you are cold? Y'all, this stuff, please don't take this stuff for granted. When we get to a certain point, the stock market is going to be in a worse position than what it is. Food is going to go higher than what it is. Lots of things are going to happen that don't make us feel comfortable. But if we have some of the skills, I remember raking the yard, and we used to have a blast because we had so much energy as children. We would rake up all the leaves in a huge pile in the yard, and then we would back up and we would take off running and flip over into the doggone leaves, spreading the leaves out all over the place again. But guess what we knew how to do? Get some bags, rake them up again, put them in the bags, and we had skills. So when it was time for us to make money, when we wanted to make some money, guess what we would do? We would go and we would ask the neighbor if we could rake their yard. We had three, let me see, one, two. I want to say we had 3 pecan trees in our yard, all right? And when we wanted extra money, we would take pecan season. Oh, baby, we were picking up pecans. We were picking up pecans for my friends up north. Yeah, we were picking them up and we would go and sell them. But now, don't nobody want to pick up. Don't nobody even want to grow no pecan trees anymore. But we would take them to the next country city over a city country than ours. Shoot. Y'all had bags. Listen, we had them paper bags, those Piggly Wiggly brown paper bags, and we would fill them up. And at the time, I can't remember if we got like $25. I can't remember if it was like $25 if we would fill up the big Piggly Wiggly bag. Y'all did that too, African Dreamers, see? That's what we did. If we wanted to make money for the summer, we would pick pecans, and there were people out in the country who would buy them pecans. Now, The little bitty containers of pecans that I buy now at Publix are like $5 each for the little bitty containers of them. $5 each. And you look in the other stores, they ain't much cheaper in the other stores either. Do you understand that if you put one of those in your ground, if it was $25 for the bag back then, can you imagine now how much they'll pay you for those? Can you imagine? So even if you don't have, a job, if you got something to eat, if you got a little piece of land, guess what you can still do? People are going to always want to eat. If you can make people crushing cans, yes. Bev Jones, yes. We was crushing cans, selling them cans. We've been hustlers all our life. But we had to be, because we wasn't degreed up back then. We had to be. Hi, Nikki. How you doing? Hey, Auntie Ellen. We were talking about you. How you doing? I did the pecan thing for my grandma. My uncle would throw the stick in the tree. My cousin and I would harvest. It was fun to see who got more. Yes, it was always a competition. It was a lot of us kids around. So yes, it was always a competition. And yes, and baby, if we could get one person up there to shake that tree, to pull it and just shake it. Yes. And throw them trees up in there and knock the higher ones down. Have a couple of people who weren't scared to climb the tree, and they'd get up there and bounce up and down up on the branches. Oh yeah, we did all that. We did all that. Come to think about it, I was kind of bad as a child, I guess. I remember the worst whipping in my life I got was me climbing up on the house. Climbing up on top of the house. And my mama had warned me too. She had warned me too, stealing collard greens. We had our own collard green eco neighbor. Stop it. We had our own collard green. You sold the soda bottles, Lisa. I collected the pop bottles and newspaper for money. Listen, the paper routes, like all of that. We knew how to survive, people. We knew how to survive. All we have to do now is get back into that mode. Okay, go ahead and practice a little bit. If it doesn't, if nothing happens, if all the food goes back down to the 2005 prices, we good. What are the chances? Let me find out. Gigi was climbing on the roof. Listen, got my tail destroyed. You hear me? There's one whipping I remember, because she had warned me. And you know what used to make me so mad about my mama? She would say, I'm going to get you. Because see, my mom worked. When I got old enough to go to school, I remember my mom started to work at that point. And so she would make me so mad, because she would say, when I get you, I'm going to get you for the old and the new. And I'd be like, oh man, how you gonna get me for the old and the new? Just get me. Knowing I was gonna run. But go ahead and get me now. Bell Jones. Bell Jones, get you for the old and the new. You know it, don't you, Bell Jones? Erica Dreamers, I believe Gigi stayed as a mischief when she was little. Man, you be thinking that you were like a good child or whatever. And then when you think back on it, Like, oh my gosh, I really did that. Yeah, we did some stuff. Listen. And it was some farmers outside of the city that had some sweet cabbages. They cabbages were so much sweeter than ours. This is why I'm telling y'all. Shut up, Eco Neighbor. This is why I'm telling you guys that you're going to have to protect your stuff, but you're going to have to grow some. See, the little bit of you know, getting a couple of cabbage out of a big huge field, we ain't gonna bother that farmer much, right? They were so sweet. They were the sweetest cabbage. I don't know what they did to the cabbage, but they cabbage was so much sweeter than the ones that we grew in our yard. And so we figured, they won't miss, you know, a couple of cabbages. The pot can't hold but maybe 2 cabbages anyway. So we'll just get 2, right? But this is why we be trying to tell y'all, you're going to have to protect your food. You're going to have to protect your food. But if you got something, and at this point, I said in my mind, I was a roguish. Eco Neighbor, them was some sweet cabbages, buddy. The farmer didn't miss them. The farmer then missing. Listen, cabbages, that's what y'all city slickers gonna be doing. Y'all gonna be stealing cabbages this time. Y'all ain't gonna be bothered about the candy. You gonna be bothered about them cabbages when that food start going up. The cabbages like 82 cents a pound, man. Nikki, didn't I tell you not to do that or pay the piper? My mom used to say every whipping. Yep. Yep, I'm telling you. But yeah, we had to get a, you know, we didn't have to, but it was an entire field full of cabbages, and they were right there by the road. So like the farmer didn't miss them, but they were delicious. And like, if there was a windshield, we would have left a note and been like, hey, yeah, the family, like, when you get hungry, you will be amazed what you will do. If your babies are hungry and your family is hungry, hey, on that homesteader, if your family is hungry, you will go and get you a couple of cabbages too. They were young and tender. Nikki, so tender. So tender. Yes. Got me wanting some cabbage. Eco Neighbor, did you cook my whole cabbage today? Yes. But I'm telling you, this is where we're going. We're going back to that. It's going to be a whole lot more of that. Listen, we just did it as a little sport, you know. See who can get back to the car the fastest. Get you a big black trash bag. See how many you can carry, kind of thing. But now it is going to be a matter of survival. So grow enough, and this is what I've been doing, is growing enough for the bugs to have them some, because they coming too. You can't be putting all that stuff in. Well, you can do whatever you want in your garden, but I don't put all that extra stuff in my garden. I'm trying to build an ecosystem so that we can make sure that we're not ingesting all of that crap that we have to ingest. Nikki nasty. What? Because she said young and tender. We like it young and tender. I mean, Nikki likes it young and tender. Tomatoes was the thing. Just finished eating cabbage. Yeah. Yeah, Nikki. It was young and tender, Nikki. But I'm telling you, just make sure that you're growing something, okay? You're growing something, and make sure that you're getting your skill set together, because that is going to be the thing that you need. You're going to need that skill set to put some seeds in some soil, sow you some seeds so that you'll be able, so that your family will be able to have food. It is going to be absolutely necessary, even if you don't have a job. If your family has food, if you can figure out a way to clean some water and start a fire, your family can still survive. Okay? If you can figure that out. And figure it out just by sowing seeds in some soil. All right? So I'm going to go home. Still got to drive. So I'm going to go home and I will chat with you guys later. Thank you very much for coming in. Thank you for everybody who participated, and thank you for everybody who helped us out by watching as well. I really appreciate you guys, and I hope you have a wonderful evening. Take care of your family. Take care of yourself. Enjoy your evening. Enjoy your life, honey. Enjoy your life. Yes, my husband says bring it, so I'm fixing to bring it. All right. Peace, family. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye-bye, y'all.